Thank you, Olu. I don't have much. I only have 3 points that I want to say. The first one, there is a speaker here, Ataura Kuti Vamgabe attended funeral ya Baba Watagwirei. That is not true. Pakashaya Baba Watagwirei, the president by then was Comrade Mnangagwa. Vamgabe vakanga vasisipo. Even if you check the records, the pictures, Vamgabe vakanga vasipo. So that is not true. Ndoda kuenda futi pane imwe issue yenyaya iri kutaurwa. I will not talk about Geza because the last time, if you remember, Olu, I
So,
told
so
you, kuti,
Oracle. On that
yes.
point, on the first one, when you say Vam Gabriel Kangawa Sipo, are you suggesting that there was no relationship
No,
between?
no, no. No,
During the
that's
time
not
of
what I'm
Tagwire,
suggesting.
because remember
No.
the story of Queen B was raised during the time of President Mugabe, right?
I am not trying to say they did not have any relationship.
That yeah, the tender
I,
for
I,
the
I,
fuel
I'm
happened during the
just
time of President Mugabe.
I'm just stating facts.
Okay, go
Whether
ahead.
or not the Dure generator and stuff zvakaitika, but it does not mean that we have to twist facts kuti zvisute a certain narrative. Zvisinei, ndoda kudzoka pa the second issue, pari kutaurwa nyaya yekuti Monica Mutangwa, while in Manicaland, she said something chaomererwa maoko naGeza. I wish there was someone here who attended that particular meeting, who understands the politics behind those statements and the context. Yes, I told Monica Mchanga. For those that don't know, there was an issue.
Right. I cannot hear the oracle anymore.
I can't hear him.
Kotsit, can you hear the oracle?
I can't hear him.
Okay,
He's
it's
dropped.
all right. Sister Temptations, please fix your network. We want to hear your thoughts on this topic. So taxi driver, take it up, and
Uh,
then we go to Tinashe.
Thanks, Hulu. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Good, good, Hulu. A couple of points.
Sorry, taxi driver. The oracle has just fallen. I want to tell him the oracle. It is your network. It's not us who have dropped you. Fix it, and then you can come back on. All right, go ahead, taxi driver.
Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, you always afford us an opportunity, even if we disagree. I didn't realize you are fighting, Hulu. I had some speakers say you are in this fight. You are fighting. I didn't realize you're fighting, homeboy. What are you fighting? I don't know. But anyway, I'll move to the business of the day. I heard someone here say ZANU-PF inherited a beautiful country. Inherit? It's not. Was it on a will? Whose will? Who wrote that will that we inherited? Come on, guys, get your terminology right here. This guy who was saying, "Mugabe wanga wasipo," it was Wamnangagwa. The person who I listened to, sometimes he listened very carefully. Did not say which Mugabe. Vafana vana Robert vatokura and uone mashoro azvo. That young one is also called Robert Mugabe. He could have been the one who was present. So he's not stating a position of fact. The person who's alleged Mugabe was in attendance did not tell us that Robert Gabriel Mugabe was there, the former president. Did not say that. He just said Mugabe was there.
Takes Mira.
Hold on. I'm stating positions of fact. This guy was just a hula ballooning, to be honest with you. I am stating positions of fact and possibility. You cannot go around everybody. I didn't see a taxi driver. Which one? There's so many of them. Mugabe is a big name in Zimbabwe. There could have been so many Mugabes, and I would be surprised. I'm surprised if there wasn't any Mugabe in attendance, a male, sometimes even called Robert. So come on, go and get your things right. But anyway, Hulu, the business of the day. And Hulu, I will correct you as well. You cannot call these guys they are in their afternoon. No, it's not an afternoon. It's actually a sunset. If you look at an average lifespan of a human being, he's in his sunset. Oh,
I was using his
oh
own
no, no, I'm
words.
not
Those are the
correcting
words that
you.
he
I'm
used.
not correcting you. Him. So he's. I think I now agree with those who are using that word. What's it called? Sana or Sina? I don't know. But I'm now agreeing with the fact. Yeah,
Inonzesina,
that one,
didn't
yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
Taura?
Credit to you. Yeah, I'm now beginning to be convinced, Hulu, that maybe there is some brain faculties that are no longer functional to, yeah, cognition that we may want. You cannot call yourself, I'm in my afternoon, when we know an average human life. There is no way you will find someone living 160 years. It just won't happen. You're towards your sunset to be, if you're going to take a linear model which takes time and all that kind of stuff. We're taking out the possibility of an accident while you're young, which is also a sunset. So, but anyway, that one we have corrected. Uh, I'll go back to the model. Hulu. You know the model. You have to listen. Who is saying what to who, to what end, right? Geza is very consistent. It's not about Zimbabweans. So we're gathered here, yes, it keeps us nourished in terms of conversation and brain, and it exercises our brains to think and look at things critically. And I like to use the model, and I'll go back to the model and say, who is saying what to who, to what effect? He said these things before. It's not about you. He's just trying to hoodwink people, or to hook-wink, to use Mr. Tinoma Chakaire's wording, into his own fight. He's bringing big wigs into the fight. It's in his brain. It's not even in action, right? You go to the general. The general is a mouth. Why can't he come and speak? Why does he have to speak? I sent Geza to come and speak. If you look at him, Geza, when he's speaking, when I saw him advertise his talk and everything, he's speaking. Maybe somebody's flipping the cards. If they're not flipping the cards, it's an auto cue. It's a prepared message. Whoever is preparing that message is the one who is communicating through Geza, right? But to what end? They've got political careers. I mean, Hulu, I'll say to you this and then I'll land. The horses bolted for those who were in the previous administration who may have ambitions. You now have a youthful ZANU PF leadership, very youthful, that is being groomed to come and lead the country. You talk of Bosparas, you talk of the Mnangagwa Juniors, you talk of the Sheikhs, the Machakaires. It's a new group which has an equal claim to leadership. So those who are watching on the sidelines thinking that someday or some way I'll come in and use my historical influence, it was a borrowed influence. Let's make it clear. It was positional power. It was not influence that you just wake up with like you who can gather people around. Chipo chako ichi. But when it comes to leadership, especially of a group of people or a nation, as this is a zozo, it's about competence, strategy, being deliberate, being intentional, right? And connecting with the people. A lot of people underestimate when Jonathan Moyo said, our people in ZANU-PF, when you give them a 5 kg or 10 kg of mbeu and the heavens open, the connection becomes real. It's that level of connection with people. Understand what your electorate wants and then communicate with them. Then be active about it. What
All
Geza,
right.
I'll learn Hulu now. What Geza is just doing, those are what we call empty words with no substance, no action. And I'll end by just saying, Hulu, those who talk, right, should do, and those who do should talk. Geza must just shut up, go and have his pension, enjoy his life while waiting for the sunset. Many thanks.
All right, Taxi. I mean, I just want to bring somebody up, but people will challenge you, Taxi. So as you listen, I would want you to stay on the request for the sake of just creating space for others, because I would want you to respond. And Oracle fell, so we just want to hear the rest of his submission. So, uh, homeboy Taxi, yeah, and then let's go to Oracle now. Oracle. Can you please complete your sentence, and then we go to both Solani and Flora Ramai. Right. Those are the only two ladies we. I mean, sorry. There's now Sister Temptations. That brings balance to this. Tinashe, sorry, just a moment. Oracle fell earlier because of network, and he was talking. So we just want to hear the rest of his submission. So, brother Oracle, can you please continue?
Okay, thank you, Olu. Anyway, um, the last speaker, Tex, said maybe Panama Mugabe wangu wanga wachitarwa. Well, I cannot really dwell on that. It's not much. I just wanted to dispel some misconceptions there. But I would also want to speak
Oracle
about.
knows is sometimes we not driver my taxi you paga.
No, it's all right. I also want to talk about the reference, yes, speech here, Monica, in Manicaland. Now, I hope there are people here who might have attended that particular meeting. I mean, those are in a better position to understand the politics behind that particular speech. But for the benefit of those that might not know, there was a tussle of war in Manicaland Women's League that was between Dorothy Mapika and Amaisako. And Monica was supporting Amaisako, while certain people that I cannot mention were supporting Dorothy Mapika. And for those that follow ZANU PF politics, you might know or you might have noticed kuti for the past 3 or so weeks, pakanga pachiitwa mas press statements akasiyana-siyana over Women's League in Manicaland. One from the PC, another one from the legal secretary, another one from the first, from the secretary for Women's League. There was a war there, a tussle for power in Manicaland Women's League, and in that particular tussle, Monica was involved. So when she was speaking about all that, zvakazokotwa zvaombererwa maoko, it had absolutely nothing to do with what people want to believe. It had something to do with what was happening in Manicaland, which then ended over the weekend when they did the elections. But what I would want people to believe what they want to believe, because we have a tendency of seeing things the way that we want them to be, which is okay because we all have opinions. It's our right after all. So I just had to say it so that maybe for those that might want to have another opinion can know kuti no kumanikaland kutori nezvako zvanga zvisitombori nezvinhu zvamuri kufungidzira. I say so because I've been in Manicaland leadership. I know these things. I do politics ekumanikaland. Ndiri munhu weZANU PF anyway. Ndoenda pekupedzisira, Geza. The last time I spoke on one of your spaces, which I rarely do, I told you, if you remember, kuti Geza angasisina 2 weeks are irrelevant. I also mentioned to you, could I know somehow the person behind Geza? Why? Because this is someone I've also worked with before closely. I know, or not, let me not say I know. Those within ZANU-PF know his footsteps. You can tell kuti apa pafambwa naningi apa, because we've been together in the trenches, so we know each other. Kuti itsoka yaningi, itsoka yaningi, itsoka yaningi. So all this noise yekuti Geza general and stuff, no, vanhu vari kutotsvagawo relevance kuna
Give us the
general
first
kuti
letter. Give us the first letter of the name of the person that
no,
you
I
are.
can't.
You're...
No, I mean, I think everyone knows anyway. So there is no need for me to do that.
Ari kutya kurekodwa manaka.
There's no need for me to do that. But I think those with ears,
But
they've heard what I'm trying to say.
it's certainly not the general. Certainly not the general.
Yes, certainly not the general. So people, people are looking for relevance. There are people within the party and outside the party. vari kutsvaga macheya mutende. They believe kuti pane katende kageneral somewhere. And varoda kufana vaisa masituro avo imomo kuti ndizowana pekugara. So by doing that, unotsvagawo zvimadhori zvako zvekufambisa zvinokusvededza padhuze nechinhu. So ndozvine zvichiitika, and we have said it kuti okay guys muri kuteedzera Geza, but this is ZANU-PF intra-politics. It has nothing to do with you. Magame ari kuitika, but well, people don't listen, which is okay. The last point I want to say, Hulu, inyaya yavatagwirei KT nenyaya general nenyaya ya president Mnangagwa. Ndanzwa vaGeza vachiita sevanoda kupesanisa kana kupatsanura vatagwirei vaMnangagwa vovaisa uko vatora vaisa uko. But I would want to ask this last question to those that also follow. Kuti during time general pavanga vachiri kuarmy vasati vaVP, pakatanga command agriculture, vakanga vachirana command agriculture ndivanani? And who was the financier? And why yakaranwa iri under the arm military? And the same person akanga achifanda chinhu ichocho is the same person nhasi watakuti isusu akanga asingadi kuti Mnangagwa wapinde or haachati general or what. Guys ga politics ga ipolitics dzemuZANU-PF dzatosiyana nezvimwe zvinhu zvatinenge zvichiita zvezvo. Idzi ndedzemuZANU-PF idzi hadzidi bama-explanation nema-analysis ekuharvard. Dzinotongoda vanhu vanenge vari muZANU-PF kuti vanzwisise kuti okay fine, mvura yakuda kunaya vakomana topinda mutende ipi kana towanda papi. Thank you.
All right, you are speaking in parables, but we would engage with you. And so we go to those who are doing rebuttals, and then we go to Charlene Chikomo. Welcome to the space. Charlene, and after Charlene, we have Sister Temptations, Tinashe, and Sister Temptations, and we have got Justice Mahoney. Right, Boss Salone. Here we are in terms of the debate. And then from there we go
Can I
to
come
Flora
after
Ramai.
Ruramai?
You use the word Seno, referring to Comrade Blessed.
Sorry, Hulu. Can I come after Ruramai?
Okay, all right. So Flora Ramai, you can go ahead. This is for you, Flora Ramai. That is the message from Comrade Geza. He says this is not for us; it is for you. Unity is important. Are these words that we must just ignore? Ramai, are you there?
Thanks, Hulu. Yeah. You know what? Tagwira didn't come from these presidential. Tagwira saved Zimbabwe from a lot of hurt, from a lot of poverty that was instilled to our nation through sanctions. When BT put his name up as adversary, you know, he's actually under sanctions for helping our country to counter the sanctions in Zimbabwe. It was not through ED, it was through Robert Mugabe himself that we actually managed to survive the sanctions in Zimbabwe. He is not a product of ED, he's a product of Robert Mugabe. And that we need to recognize that. And when Vice President Chiwenga came into power, he spoke about giving back the country back. Well, he actually spoke in the sense of, you know, he actually called it, there's a word that he actually used, restore legacy. Legacy is not about the people we think of. Restore legacy is giving back the country to the people who actually matter in terms of Zimbabwe regaining its vision as a country. And if we look at Tagore in terms of what he spoke of how are we going to regain our country back in terms of 2030 vision, and he actually brings you out in terms of what he calls, if we take out if we use his data that's used by the government, this is how we're going to regain our country in terms of GDP by 2050. Some people don't want to hear that. And I believe that our country needs a leader who actually understands the economy situation of Zimbabwe, who is actually not just a leader from the generations of war. He's a leader who actually is younger than the struggles of Zimbabwe during the liberation war. And I believe that, you know, General Chiwenga is behind all this. And I solemnly believe that, right? Because General Chiwenga cannot be the leader of Zimbabwe. And I feel that in 2028, we will have a Tagwere presidential leader in our Zimbabwe as we speak, right? Because his vision aligns with the 2030 vision. But some people don't see it because they want to believe it's all about the liberation war. But it's not. It's about giving us the mandate to believe that in our generation, we have a leader who has nothing to do with the war, who has nothing to do with Rhodesia, but a young person who seeks the values of Zimbabwe to bring us from the doldrums of being a country that is actually in a better position than what it was in. And many Zimbabweans think that Zimbabwe is, for the taking from the general, but the general doesn't believe that. So I've never heard Chiwenga saying he wants to be president of Zimbabwe after ED, because I don't think that's what his position is there for. And for some people who don't have that insight, do not understand why Tagore is doing what he's doing at this moment in time. But many of us who are actually more visionary and more logical in thought process actually understand Tagore is better than Chamisa in so many ways. And ZANU PF in 2028 will have Tagore as a candidate.
All right.
It's to them to argue, but that's not for me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let me go to Charlene. And Charlene.
Oh,
Oh,
it was
okay.
me
I thought
next.
you were not yet.
Sorry, just do you know that it is the spirit that was talking on my side?
Signora, please. Signora.
No, no, leave it.
Whose
Just
spirit?
leave it.
Spirit
No, leave
yani?
it. Let's carry on.
Okay. Bossolani, so here we are. What will be your final conclusion to this?
Haungati final conclusion kakunge ndandichatendera kutaura futi pano paspace.
No, it is now after 10, and Comrade Geza spoke for 40 minutes, so we need to give our final conclusion. So hot seat, and let me just check with you: is your network set okay there? Are you now stable?
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. So hot seat is
Can
going to
I
be
final submission? I'll save mine for last, please.
okay. So we move to the others. So hot seat, it is going to be Charlene. We go to okay. Charlene has fallen, so it's going to be Justice Mahoney. Okay, Charlene is coming back. Okay, it's gonna be Charlene, and then we are going to have Justice Mahoney and ABM in that order. Uh, Tinashe was also supposed to speak, by the way. Sorry, Tinashe. Sorry.
Can I
Right.
go?
So it is gonna be
Yeah, but
Charlene,
Hulu,
Tinashe.
can
Okay,
people
sorry. I'm
also
just
repost the space? Hulu, can
yes.
people repost the space?
Okay.
Especially when vanouya pano vachitaura, like the speakers. I mean, there've been so many speakers, more than 5, but I'm fine. I'm seeing Kuti. I'm one of the 5 people who've reposted the space so that other people can join the conversation. And you've got
Okay.
people who want to freely come here and contribute, but you don't want to support Variko Hosta space. That's utter nonsense, man.
Okay, Bossalani. Okay, Bossalani. Let's move with the conversation. So it's going to be Charlene. It's going to be Tinashe, Justice, and ABM. Hot seat: Charlene, Tinashe, Justice, and ABM. Thank you. In that order.
Okay, thank you very much, Hulu. Charlene, you can take the mic.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Wari posta space first.
Bossalani, please. Let's move now smoothly. Charlene,
Yeah.
we can hear you. Comrade Geza said he's doing all these for you. Do you believe? Do you believe him?
For me personally, I always think that it's very wise for us as Zimbabweans to be able to separate the politics of ZANU PF and the politics of Zimbabwe, because most of the time what we talk about is often the politics of ZANU PF, as if from ZANU PF there exists an alternative to the challenge that we are having today. So when you look at a person like Comrade Geza, he does not represent anything. What he wants is a better ZANU PF. When you look at Taguire, he doesn't represent anything of the alternative. He represents a crony capitalism within ZANU PF, which has the Taguires and the Weaknels. These are men that enjoys benefits from the state, and they are also a faction within ZANU PF. And their capital into such is the money that they have, that they continue to pour in, and the deals that they continue to enjoy out of ZANU PF. When you look at the general himself, Chwenka as well, he represents a certain group within ZANU PF, which is the group of the army. And we know the militarization of the state, where the state, the military now, is a big body within the state, and the police represents that as well. Even even ZBC, you are going to see that the media there, it's no longer Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, it's ZANU PF Broadcast Corporation. So when you're talking about that politics, it's important to have Taguire engaged in battles with Chiwenga, but it's important for ZANU PF politics. We will watch it and we'll congratulate them for enjoying their own democracy within the political party of ZANU PF. When you look at my Mtsangwa Pawaiti, Puna Mnanotenga Nemari, I don't think she actually understands the dynamic of a political party, because there are people who are also in that party who are crony capitalists who are there because of their money. So they can have that debate. So for me personally, I don't think Geza represents anything new. I've said it before and people went against me then. But I don't think he represents anything new. He's just a vomited member of ZANU PF who should continue to fight for his seat in ZANU PF. I also don't think, like what the other person was saying, that Taguire is better than anybody else and stuff. I've not seen where he has been better before, and I need to be convinced otherwise. I don't believe in that whole group of people who are saying they are doing all these things for the people of Zimbabwe. But what I believe, though, is that the people of Zimbabwe must stop looking for saviors and think about ways we can be able to organize ourselves as the citizens, because the antithesis of ZANU PF is not going to come from ZANU PF. 2017 has revealed that empirically, that ZANU PF will always be ZANU PF. And what happened in 2017, of which I participated in that protest as well, and went to the stadium, tikadya chicken yedu, tikaudzwa kuti within 100 days we are going to do 1, 2, 3. Those things are not done till now, that we promised each other on that particular day. I remember I was very young then, when we went there. So the opposition, not even the party for me, it's the people of Zimbabwe, because the people of Zimbabwe are the ones who are always disorganized. Tisi tinongedwa grouped tichiswa muzvimafaction, chifaction chachamisa ichi, chifaction chakomichi ichi, chifaction chageza ichi, chifaction chanhingi. That's exactly what is going to make things the same, because the citizens are always divided. What we need actually is a more citizen-centered program of action that doesn't look for saviors within a system that has failed to deliver. You cannot look for the new from the old. The old cannot give itself an antithesis that it has failed to do. Even the opposition has tried shame since not even 1999, from the time of the Tekeres and Joshua Nkomos to the time of Morgan Shankirai and the Nelson Chamisas and the Monzoras and the Komichis to Madam Kupez. They have failed to deliver a political structure that is going to respond and give an antithesis to ZANU-PF. The only thing that has never been tried in Zimbabwe is a citizen-led movement, partiless, leaderless, tribeless, churchless, but the citizens who know what they want for their country. That is what is always destroyed by any leader. That's what they don't want. That's why you see 2017, if the citizens in 2017 were allowed to give a tone of what they want without the assistance of the military, they would have given a much better program of action. But you see, we are always blocked from allowing the citizens to lead. So I wouldn't be here really to speak about Geza. I think he has had his time. If he had something to offer, he would have offered it. I wouldn't be here even to talk about the opposition, because we do not have opposition. We just have a group of opportunists who themselves have failed also to provide an alternative. I wouldn't even think of also all these people are talking about Tagwire, and so those comrades, we know them. They are just tenderpreneurs, as they say. You heard him the other day saying, if you are not a tenderpreneur, you are a fool. He thinks he is wise because he doesn't understand building state capacity does not need tenderpreneurship. It needs us to capacitate the state. But because that's how they made it, that's how they built their business, and now they want to justify. They will occupy big platforms because they can go to NAST and say
Shit,
whatever
can
they
you?
want
Okay.
because they have power. But can I land properly?
No, no, yeah. Sorry, it's me.
I know I'm
I
speaking
couldn't.
about very.
Seems like your network.
Shalini ari kutoti ndege yake
I had
ingaputika in
lost
the
you a
air.
little bit there,
Yes,
but you
yes,
are
boss.
back now. You are
Yes.
back. Yeah, come. Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to really tell the people of Zimbabwe, as I learned, that you are, you know, what has never happened in the politics of Zimbabwe. The opposition happened in the politics of Zimbabwe. It has a history of 25 years. ZANU PF has happened to Zimbabwe. It has a history of 45 years. The military has happened in Zimbabwe. In fact, in 2008, I was living with my grandmother in Chiwara village. They came to beat the people. They were doing whatever they want. 2017, it's again the military. The military today runs Zimbabwe. Zvigananda has happened in Zimbabwe. The church has happened. Don't let anybody lie to you that the church must be part of the discourse. The church will stop. No, people like Mutent owns gold. Kuseri kwe church yake kuya kuya. Their minds, those people have money, they have been eating. My pastor Esawa, they are actually used by the state to give people an opium of the poor so that people believe in a hope that doesn't need them to engage with their material conditions. Machines, your year is coming, your year is coming. Takambotanga chins, Zimbabwe zvakafana nema-Israelites. Muchasvika pamuchasvika 40 years, pamuchasvika 40 years, muri muwilderness. 40 years dzakwana after independence. You know what? 70 sema-Israelites mu-exile. Those people are not people of God. They are also opiums of the poor who are always there to massage you to believe in a situation different from the one you have. But the thing that has not happened for Zimbabwe, who organizes the citizens to lead their own, like the Gen Z movement in Kenya? Haina leader, haina unonzi mwene wayo. Mukandisunga initially nas, ndiise in prison, Gen Z will continue. It's not about me. Mukasunga wamasunga, it will not. But Evanui, it will never deliver anything. We should think about people later after achieving the gains of the revolution. Not think about people msati mabata muka. Hamsati matomobata kana membre yacho makutogurana msore wotora dumbu. Ndio zvakaita opposition izvo. Nasa hakuna opposition. Vamwe vari pa sabbatical, vamwe vari pachi, vamwe vachina kana mapati, vamwe vakushodesa kutarisa, because we shared an animal that we had not found. Ambition must never come before saving the nation. And that's my presentation for tonight. Thanks, Ulu.
Shalini,
Thank you very much, Charlie.
wakambo cheka membe ukapanana dumbu here.
Tisu kata ifima kumusha matikanga takangozwanirwa nyasha manje utuye mudiscourse.
kunonzi kuvhima vanhu vakaruma mhiri.
But that was senior. That was very good from Charlene. Honestly, in terms of his submission there, noting. I mean, all these issues are hot seat. Sorry about. Yeah, it's you know, people fighting over a carcass, and yet you know, the country is just going down the drain, and apparently.
Thank you. At least we're translator because I'm with Rima Salala.
Yeah, hot seat. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Tinashe?
Tinashe, are you there?
Present. Thank you so much, Wulu. What's it? You guys are wonderful always with the hot topics and all that. And yo, Shalin, you know kuti pawati pawambonditi Shalini tinashe first then Shalin ndafara singaiti because ndanchiziva kuti Shalini mosi is just going to take away words out of my mouth. Now it's just really reiterating what he is speaking about, but at least it brings me comfort to really to know that kuti kune vamwe vanhu who are actually ready for independent thinking, which is not cowered by anything chiri paground chezvimapolitical elites zvedu izvi who are really worried about their own personal ambition and holding the nation hostage. However, we with Shalini, we always differ on now on the approach and how ZANU PF should be probably viewed in this challenge, because indeed we have got challenges. We have got a crisis in Zimbabwe, and corruption inoenda pa number one pema one atinawo muZimbabwe, and this is the reality of today. We were hearing from Ningirgen Temba Gorimbo just yesterday achitaura kuti nayo akatobhadhariswa mari yekuti aende kunoona president to you see, so zvinhu izvozvozvo has been the reality of politics dziri kuitika muZANU PF izvezvi since 2017. We have got vanhu who really are blinding the leadership and actually building very high walls around those guys, making sure that they are not in touch with exactly what is happening, because that open door policy, if it had been maintained for what it should have been or what it was designed to be, these guys will be informed. So now we have got Ana Mdara Geza remains what we said about him paakatanga. It's him just going on top of matrends zvinhu zvinoda kunzwikwa nemazimbabweans stereki. When you come pa social media, you present your hate against ZANU PF using sometimes violent, abusive speech, you then gain traction on social media, and Comrade Geza is doing exactly that. But when it comes to what if you ask him now what must be done, he has got nothing to deliver. He's just like everyone else. But it doesn't mean that what he's saying is not facts. It's facts. There is corruption, it's true. But to say that that challenge yatinayo senyika will be solved by pointing fingers, those that we point fingers to will always defend themselves, and they've got that capacity to defend themselves. The way we approach ZANU PF and ZANU PF politics is that you must really understand one thing, and understand it very well. If it creates a situation where ZANU PF is humiliated out of power, ZANU PF will become stronger. And we have seen this over the years. That's why I always propose that there are ways that we focus on the objective that we really want to achieve, because at the end of the day, what we want as a country is a functional country where economy support, where people are able to feed themselves without having to beg for motor kunana chivayo, and really to shaking their buttocks so that they are given to marry and all that. We can't have a country like that. So a country needs to work. It needs to work for a person who believes in ZANU PF. It needs to work for a person who is non-aligned to any political movement. It has to work for those that believe in the opposition, because at the end of the day, we have got a Zimbabwean objective. So it's easier if today we stand on that, stand up on that. These leaders that we have are leaders that we deserve. Zimbabwe deserves the leaders that they have, because vanoda kupa munhu simba rekuita zvinhu zvese. You wait for Geza kuti vageza vachazotudza kuti tipinde mustreet, but tinoda kuti vange varipo pamberi, and you know that it's not going to happen. No one has that. And it's not necessary anyway for kuti a government must be overthrown. No, a government must be directed. When election come, you direct your government today. If you think that no, ZANU-PF has stayed in power because electoral process favors them, then force ZANU-PF, that is your government, to bring in the reforms that you want. Because today, if you ask around, Kuti, guys, what are electoral reforms that are needed? The people that cry about electoral reforms, they cannot clarify exactly what they really want on political or on electoral reforms. So we find ourselves going round in circles, ZANU-PF protecting its power, and the opposition promising people that it is going to take that power from ZANU-PF and humiliate ZANU-PF out of power. It's not happening. ZANU-PF will stand strong when it's about to lose power, and it will do things that you will surprise you. No one knew that a powerful person, a powerful leader like President Mugabe can resign one day. No one knew about that. That is what ZANU-PF.
All right.
So in lending,
All right.
in lending,
Mhm.
in lending, what I want to really bring home is that, guys, we organize ourselves to direct government so that we establish ourselves as leaders and lead this any government, creating systems that are corruption proof, abuse proof, that will protect human rights, so that whoever becomes a president, if a donkey becomes a president, it follows the mandate of the people and how the people want to be led. And that has to be done now, especially when ZANU-PF is still in power, for it to work. I thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Tinashe. ABM, I'm going to come to you after Justice Mahoney, okay? So thank you. I know you've been waiting for a long time. Thank you for that. Justice?
Thank you, what's it? Thank you, Comrade Ulu, Miss Ramai, Bosalani, Shalini, BM, taxi driver, for some thesis that you were doing for us, academic, you know. Yeah, Comrade Ulu, I don't think there's anything new that you expected, because, you know, it's one and the same thing that he always says, Geza. So I don't think there's anything new. We have dismissed him in the very beginning. What I'm just worried is maybe the misconception that is fronting for the VP, and you know, I think it's a misconception, because the VP is no different from any other leader at this moment. Whatever someone is doing, he's also doing it. I was actually watching the Miss Tourism there. The lady who won was gifted a car by his wife. His wife, General Miniotomba. I saw people who are working in those shops, yeah, boutiques. They are given cars. They are given clothes. So it's just someone doing it, but on a different scale. But the concept is the same. So I don't think there's anything different that you complain that this one is getting a car, this one is not, because they are all giving out cars and any goodies. As a matter of fact, there was a jeweler that was stolen from his wife recently worth a lot of money. I think they actually going to court about that. You can choose to share that money with others, just like what others are doing, but you can choose to use it otherwise. So I don't think there's any complaints about people getting goodies. And you know, many people are getting goodies. I heard from Bosalani, the likes of Ostalos are getting goodies. You know, so I don't think there's something to complain about there. Then I heard my brother Charlene saying that citizens should lead, citizens should do this, should do that. What are these citizens? I need to hear when these citizens have led before. If my memory serves me right, when I think this is spoken in the context of people protesting and then the government falls, then those kind of people lead the government. I haven't seen this happening. When these people protested in Libya, Morocco, Egypt, we ended up being with generals leading there. So I don't think it's any different actually. And maybe you will explain to me what he means by these citizens. People have to be led.
Yes.
People have to be led. A revolution without leadership is anarchy, as Malema says and puts it. So, yeah. And then I heard General saying briefcase businesses and stuff when he was in Vic Falls. All these big companies we have today started as briefcase businesses. The likes of Amazon that we had were formed in a garage. So, people have to start somewhere. And as a matter of fact, we've never had a roundabout. What do you call it? An interchange. So we have to start somewhere. We have to be happy that it's our people who are doing it now, getting the money. Before, we had to contract South African companies making money and mocking us. Now we have our own people doing it for us, keeping the money within the country. So we have to start somewhere. And it's unfortunate. I even asked Senator Komich here yesterday to say, what were councils doing? They pass budgets every year of a lot of money. They don't complain when they pass budgets, but they just complain to say our job is made difficult by the ruling party, which is anti-progress. Guys, citizens spoke. They always speak. And when they speak, it's called elections. And those elections are won every time there's a winner. Those are the citizens speaking. There is no other way that you can speak except elections. Even if you topple the government today, in 90 days you need elections. So people always speak. They have always been speaking. Those who want to speak have been speaking. Those who are quiet are speaking. By not voting, someone is actually speaking. So I don't think we need to just change the mindset and see where you fit in the ZANU PF led government, because that's the reality. Otherwise, it's just dreams, and dreams sometimes don't lead to anywhere. Unenge watetawo madzikirira sometimes ukarasa kurara saka hapana kwaunosvika. The reality on the ground is ZANU PF is here. It's here to stay. Find a way of surviving under the ZANU PF government. Where we should be, we are there. Where we are going, we will go there. So trust the process. There's no magic. Here in the UK, where I am, people thought there's magic last year when they were saying tourists are this, tourists are that. Companies are closing every day here. Things are bad, are going from bad to worse as we speak. That's the nature of life. Trump came and said, I will cut spending. He is spending more because you see, life is not linear. It happens as you go. It's not some history or something. Live in the moment and find your way within a ZANU-PF government. Because if you don't do that, you are not going anywhere. Thank you very much, Comrade Dulu.
Okay.
Thank
Hot
you very
seat.
much. All right, thank you for that. ABM, thank you very much for being patient. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Good day. It's very, it's not very often that I can catch you guys during the week. Nasi is Canada Day, so we got the day off. Maka nasi na chimbonyaso terera. Chini chimbonyaso wongurira vanhu vachita se vachiteererawo zvazvitaurwa nemurume anonzi Geza. And for me, it really kind of hurts me. It deflates me that a lot of people sit there and listen to Geza and think that she somehow got this magical wand to make their failures in their own personal lives go away. It really hurts me to think that a lot of people vanenge vakagara vachiti murume uyu ndiye achauya achitibatsira asi ivo vachitadza kuzvimutsa vombonoitawo kuziita sengeti apply yourself to supply your wealth because ngano dzazitaurwa uko kauko nagezaka
ingano chete kukwidzwa ndege yemashanga, because chokwadi chiripo ndechekuti Zimbabwe's economic growth is expected to be 6% this year according to IMF. Hatichanzwe vanhu vachimbotaura nezveeconomy because ndo chokwadi chacho ende zvinhu zvakanaka kuZimbabwe. How do I know that? I have so much family members. I am a business owner in Zimbabwe. Nyango mahosi yenyu awa vama business owners anditi kuZimbabwe. All right. And yet somehow, somewhere, you want to pretend and lie to yourselves that Zimbabwe is such a dystopian place. Your days and numbers are going by. Uchingo complainer. If you think that ZANU-PF is such an evil thing, how is it now that even the IMF agrees that we're going to have a monocurrency by 2030? The IMF has just visited Zimbabwe. For those who don't know, Mbamchingo Terra Zwenyu Geza, and the IMF has just finished an assessment of Zimbabwe's economy. For those who want to know the truth, because it's very easy to play the victim. But then
IMF is corrupt, very corrupt.
wonderful, good for you, right? So ultimately, when it comes to it, there is business that is going on. You can live and you can live your life and choose to play the victim all the time and think that there's some perfect government somewhere in the world, and yet you are probably living under a monarchy. You're probably living under some white supremacist government that does not even like your black skin. But then when it comes to Zimbabwe now, the only thing you can look at is something negative. No, Zongo Sekesa, because opportunities are there for everybody. Zida is a tool that was created to help you without collateral get loans so that you can start your business. But no, you're just more than happy to throw away our constitution and you want to remove our president in the middle of his term. Brand zenyu handinaso dzinzwisise vamwe vanhu so and you want to be movement for democratic change. As a democratic change, you remove a person during his term. It's just laughable. In that guarantee, opposition, they just kids net. That's what I used to call them. I'm on record saying that because they don't know, they don't have any solutions except for just crying. Like mwana wenaka, anongochema pasina zvaitwa. And it's just shameful because ultimately there are people that are making money in Zimbabwe. There are opportunities in Zimbabwe for you. And yet you want to sit and listen kune murume zvake angodhinikana nezvekuitika kuZANU-PF. Kwenyu hamusina political party. Then disintegrated into dust. But now you get excited mukanzwa wangu wekuZANU-PF achichema ine zvichemo zvake. ZANU-PF ihomwe ikuru inokwanawo vamwe vanhu vanongochemawo kana vachemberawo vanotangawo ngotaurawo zvinhu zvekupenga zvinoitika iribo anditi, but he's safe, he's okay, his family is fine. I bet his kids are business owners, his grandkids are probably okay in Zimbabwe, okay. And yet somehow, some way, we want to think that Geza is somehow a mirror of what is going on in Zimbabwe. Zvinotongosekesa. Zimbabwe, there's so much money to be made, guys, because Zimbabwe is a growing economy, which means industries are growing and and jobs are being created and opportunities are being made. Myself, I have a hydraulics company, Kuchurugu. Okay, so Zunga Zinuka, apply yourself to supply your wealth and stop taking pride in just being the victim of things. Unosvika kupi? Unongochembera uchingochema kuti ZANU-PF iri kutonga because it's an institution. Ine structures. Haina zvechakuti strategic ambiguity, God is in it. No.
Sorry, host yakuita kunge rally.
So yeah. Bosala, I'm just saying the truth here. All right.
Yeah, you can prepare to land in 60 seconds. Sorry, Baba Chiedza. Thank you.
Okay.
zvaunotaura hatizvida asi zvine musoro wena zvine musoro zvautaura taura bata ipapo pamastructure
kune ma-structures. ZANU-PF is an institution. Kubva kwemusoja hwanya hakuvharise kembe kwedu. Chamisa akati ndakuenda CTC chibva tigede. So kwedu kwakasimba handitika. So it's something it's something to be proud of. But the truth of the matter is, right now the IMF and other institutions, independent institutions, predict that Zimbabwe's economic growth is going to be 6%. And last year it has been proven because the books are in. It was 4.3%. So there is a trajectory that is happening, and there are jobs that are being created, and you can insert yourself into that economy if you want to, or you can choose kuti ugare uchingocomplaina zvako painternet. Zviri bore.
Yeah.
You know what? Canada because Canada dai ndiri kuAmerica pangu dai ndakashurwa nevarungu, but ndori
Okay.
kutendawo kuti yakansvitsawo panapa iri kundichengeta ende ndikuita mari nayo.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you can see, the time is now very late, so we would need to be quick now and complete the discussion. ABM, thank you.
Just
Let
before
us
that,
just go to
no,
second
just a second.
speaker.
Hulu, I just wanted to say, can I know but our next $100 for an hour? Chikutaura,
So,
All right, Badiana. All right, second biggest.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And then from there, we are going to go to Bosolani, and then that will be it. I'm dozing off now, guys. It's very late. Okay, Tinashe, please mute your mic, and second biggest, go ahead.
Yeah. So, um, anyway, greetings to everyone on the space. Most of the things being said, I just grabbed some few clue from what's going on.
Sorry, so you're
Uh,
not Zimbabwean, you're African.
yep, I'm an African. So, I can see the things going on there, and many times I just see the same thing going on here, same thing going on round in every country in Africa. It's all about the politics, and I feel like we just have one thing, one role to play, and Kenyans are doing it. We just have one role to play. Is either we keep playing and instead of acting, and then we keep on suffering it. The same thing is going on in Congo. The same thing going on here in Nigeria. That's why how much I hate to even mention that name. Um, you can see it. You can see Kenyans. You can see it. See what's going on there. So the best thing is just to act. All this changing of politics, political party, and all these guys. The best thing is just to act because once the foundation is corrupt, the best thing you can do is to reshuffle the whole thing. You have to build afresh, and that is why I keep on supporting Kenyans. That's why I keep on supporting them. And then anyway, I'm just happy that at least many people are waking up here in Africa. I'm just happier with what I'm seeing. The only thing left is for the action to take place in all these places. I've been hearing about Zimbabwe. I've been hearing about people that is ruling old cargoes that's meant to be, taking their rest.
you've been hearing like
And then
you've been Kenya.
said,
All right, ABM, please do speaker. And second biggest, can you please prepare to land?
right. So all we just need here is a reshuffle and rebuild the system because everything is just playing in one direction. Everything is just playing in one direction. He's everywhere, 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 everywhere. He's just playing in one direction, doing it politically, and they are just one thing, one direction. That's why you see Traore, and they want to eliminate him. So we know the people that are using this continent as a farmland. So the best thing is just if you can take charge, just like the way the Kenyans are moving it. It's a sacrifice though. So thank you guys, and I love you all. Bless you.
All right, thank you. Barcelona?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you to our African brother there, although he didn't mention which African country he's from.
He said
But
Nigeria.
oh, Nigeria. Gusi, jollof rice.
I'm a Biafran.
Hallelujah.
I'm a Biafran.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, Ulu. Right. How do I end this? Okay. First things first. Thank you, my brother, for talking about the fact that you mentioned the thing of reshuffling. That will not work. In fact, we have a problem as Africans, or perhaps as Zimbabweans, where we're having people who purport to be opposition, but they mirror exactly what the ruling party is about. Do you understand? If it's a situation of we are dealing with corruption, they are corrupt. You know, they talk to about ZANU-PF is corrupt because ZANU-PF is the ruling party in Zimbabwe. They'll tell you that ZANU-PF is corrupt. They're just as corrupt. They tell you that these people they kill and destroy. The same opposition they kill and destroy because there's so many ways to kill a person. Even your words, even the things you post on a social media platforms, your words, they kill. They kill people's spirit. Is that not it? There are many ways to kill an individual. You don't just kill with a weapon. You can kill with your mouth, with your words. You have a situation where in Zimbabwe, it's always about let's get rid of the ruling party because us, the opposition, we will make things right. But guess what? When it comes to Zimbabwe, we have a situation where opposition are in charge of the councils. They have been looting and stealing in council. What more would they do when they become put in positions of like governmental, ministerial positions and all that? That's my problem when it comes to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, we've got a problem of people wanting to get rid of something and then they purport to be different, but they just want to do exactly what those who are in power are doing. And perhaps that's a problem that Africa is experiencing. So I just wanted to mention that to you, my brother, that when you're talking about let's reshuffle, let's change, what type of change are we talking about? Because I don't even believe that we have an opposition or anyone who's opposing what's there because they're just the same as what's there. That's not opposing it. That's just replacing it because you want to now have a seat at the table. And when you're looking at Comrade Geza, he's exactly what I'm talking about right now. He wants a seat at the table. He wants to enjoy what others are enjoying. But he's going through the wrong way of doing it because, with all due respect, and this is the thing which has gotten me to a point where I don't even trust anyone who comes to me and says they're opposition. They are so quick to support anything that someone is saying and says, "Oh, I'm anti-Zanu. I'm bringing deliverance." You don't even check the record of a person. If you were to Google me right now, you'd find out that I've had over a decade campaigning for human rights in Zimbabwe. Do you understand me? I've had a decade of saying the same things that I'm saying right now. And then someone can wake up tomorrow and be like, listen to what I'm saying, citizens of Zimbabwe. I feel sorry for you. We've been suffering. We've been whatever. You don't even check the record of that person. What have they done for the past decade? What have they been saying? This same Geza was part and parcel of the ruling party for how many decades? He was okay when your brothers and sisters were being arrested, were being abducted, were being killed. And now he starts to come through and says, "Oh, I've come here as your deliverer." You can never have a deliverer who was an assassin. It doesn't make sense to me. So that's what, there's a certain incompetence that has to do with Zimbabweans. I don't know whether it's the suffering or that you've been through so much trauma or Stockholm syndrome. I don't know what it is. But you hate on people who tell you the truth, to say that why are you supporting the same individuals who have done this to you just because they wake up tomorrow and they say let's do this. You jump on the bandwagon. You're even going to support Nelson Chamisa, who has who literally left you hanging when you're going through the worst imaginable situation in Zimbabwe. He took a sabbatical, and then you say that, oh, when he comes back, you're going to support him. You are clueless. You are the reason why God has shunned his eyes from Zimbabwe. You're the reason why the world is not focused on Zimbabwe, because of your failure to be consistent. If you talk about we want deliverance, we want to be saved, we should have been doing this consistently. We don't take breaks. I haven't taken a break for over a decade. I've got kids, but I still fight for Zimbabwe. You are happy to allow someone who promised to deliver you during the elections to come back and say, oh, he's got every right to come back as a leader of any political party. We'll still vote for him. You're imbeciles. You are fools. You are senile. Your own manner of words in the dictionary that mean that you don't make sense. And you think the rest of the world doesn't see that Zimbabwe is a laughable thing? The world has got bigger things to be dealing with. Zimbabwe is not at the top of their list. And why is that? Because of people like you. People who don't recognize when you are failing, when you support people who are not bringing you any results. And you come here and you want to insult people like me who come here and you tell you the truth that it's not working. Change your tactic. And you want to insult us? Let's get something right here. You know, because of people like Geza, because of people like Chamisa, the world has also recognized the fact that you Zimbabweans, you like people to come through. Right now, you're all about, oh, Temba, well done, Temba Gorimbo. Oh, yes, you're speaking for Zimbabweans. Wait a minute. The day whereby his words will mean nothing, none of you will be there to support him. None of you will be there to give him a house the way the Rock gave him a house to live in. None of you will be supporting because you're like that. You're sellouts. Every single one of you. Because you don't stand on something and you don't fight for something. You're not consistent. You are bloody sellouts.
All
Each and
right.
every one of you. So sorry, can I land? Let me just land.
Okay.
So when you have a problem of that, where you're dealing with Zimbabweans who are sellouts, one minute you say, oh, Kuda Tagwire is the problem. With all due respect, your own Chamisa is a friend of Kuda Tagwire, has been getting money from Kuda Tagwire. Your own Ostalos has been getting money from Tagwire. So if you're going to call Tagwire all manner of names and call him a sellout, to call him whatever, why don't you call Chamisa and Ostalos sellouts as well? You literally don't know what you stand for. So I don't blame God for shining his eyes on Zimbabwe. You're not serious. You're not ready for change. And like I said before, and like I'll say today, there is no youth who's the voting age right now that can bring change for Zimbabwe. But
All
because
right.
most of the youth that I've seen, they are pro Chamisa. And if you're pro Chamisa and you're anti certain things, you're not real because you don't hold people accountable. We need a brand new generation of youth. These children of us who are 4 years right now. Those will be the future leaders of Zimbabwe. It's going to take us 50 plus years to get change in Zimbabwe because these are children who have not been compromised. These are children who understand what is right and are ready to fight for what is wrong.
Okay.
So don't get angry at me when I tell you that the youth of today, if you're an adult age and you think that Chamisa will bring change, no, you're a sellout. You're useless. You're not getting us anywhere. You are not the what you call it, the Moses that's gonna deliver the Israelites from Egypt.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah.
That's not what God has
Yeah.
said.
Bosalani.
So we need to get to a point, Hulu, where we start talking about these discussions in a very practical way. We
Yeah.
start holding people responsible. And I'm
Yeah.
sick and tired of these people who come here holier than thou, talking about how they know better when they don't. Iwewe Charlene, you come here on spaces
Yeah.
with different type of
Bosalani.
narratives. One
Bosalani.
minute, I you no.
Wait.
Charlene comes
Wait.
here with a
Wait.
narrative at
Bosalani.
one point, And then the next time he
Solani, let
switches,
us not be
he
personal,
needs to
and
make his
also
point clear. No,
let us avoid
Charlene needs
calling
to make
people
his point clear.
fools, and
Where does
also
Charlene stand?
making some
No, we cannot
very
be
serious
clapping for Charlene. One
allegations.
minute he's siding with the
No,
oppressors. Today he'll come through and come with
no.
a different narrative. Mangwana, he'll support Nelson Chamisa. Where do you stand with Charlene?
Okay.
And I will hold you accountable. I've asked you this and I expect a response.
All right. Yeah.
Let me
Bosolani.
reply.
Sorry,
Let me
Charlene.
reply.
Before you come, I
I want
just
to
want.
show where I
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah.
I want to show
Charlene.
where I
Sorry,
stand.
Charlene. So before you come, as the last speaker, I just want to take note of the fact that Bosolani has been making very serious allegations, and I mean, we obviously without evidence, it's inappropriate to make serious allegations that people have been
We're also
getting money.
alleging about Kudata
No, yeah,
Guire. So who
yeah,
has said that?
making serious
Yeah, but
allegations
we're
that,
also alleging about
yeah,
Kudata Guire and even we are not Zanu, you Daf
okay,
Judas,
yeah,
Zunde.
yeah. Let me just make the point. I'm just saying that without evidence, it is wrong to, to suggest that, Ostalos and Advocate Nelson Chamisa have been getting money from Kudata Gure.
And they
It
have
is
been. They have been.
okay. Wait, it is also inappropriate to be calling people who follow political parties of their choice foolish and imbeciles, because it is a choice, right? So people choose what they want. So we need to make this correction right
Yeah, but
to the
then when
audience.
people say those who support ZANU PF are
No, no, no. I'm
imbeciles,
just
what are
saying.
they
I'm
talking
just saying
about?
that it doesn't make it better when you say it as well. So that's the reason why we are saying we need to avoid. Speaking like that. We must always appreciate each other and respect each other. So for those who might have felt offended in the space, I would like to apologize. In the heat of the moment, these things can happen, but corrections
So
need to
should
be
I
made.
apologize for saying Kuti Comrade Geza is
All right.
female?
Let's go to Charlene. Charlene, you have only 60 seconds. So let us
Well,
let
uh,
yes, 60 seconds
thank
to
you,
just
thank you so
summarize,
much.
because it is very, very late now. It's already past 11. So
Yeah,
yeah, we need to
yeah,
close. Thank you.
yeah. So, with all the greatest respect, Ulu, from my Facebook to my Instagram to my Twitter, I have never in my life supported a political party or came online to support a political party. I come online as a political analysis as a student of policy and practice. So when ZANU PF is doing something that I find right, you will see me supporting it. When I don't find it right, you will see me critiquing it. I'm the person who critiqued Chamisa for structures of the party that doesn't have structures, but I'm also the person that says he deserves a chance. Why? I think I owe it to the people of Zimbabwe as an academic to not be partisan and make sure that my ideas are always neutral. So when ZANU PF people are making sense, is an oppressor to you based on your party. Some of you are online as human rights activists and so forth. It's not all of us. Some of us are also here as academics who do research and write papers. That's why when you look at my papers, I can't just come here and say, I support Chamisa, I support Chamisa. Even if I was to have a call with him, if a party does not have a structure, I will tell him, Mr. Chamisa, you can't build an organization without structures. That doesn't mean I support ZANU PF. It
But it
means
also
that
means
if
that you've got
hold on,
aspirations to
I
Okay,
don't
join
even
it.
okay.
have
No
now.
interjections, boss Solani.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
We
Let me
need to
finish.
hear the last submission.
When I say Chamisa's party does not have structures, doesn't make me a candidate of ZANU PF. It makes me a person who believes in a politics that have structure. When I say a President Mnangagwa is surrounded by a group of people who have no record in building anything in politics, he must be surrounded. It does not mean I hate ZANU PF or I like the opposition. We also need people who are non-partisan, who presents their ideas with that neutrality. So, of course, I know my ideas are going to be, people are going to start saying, Charlene, they were opposition or Charlene, they were this part. Until I say that in public, I think for now it is good to respect my ideas the way they are. Don't call me a sellout because I've never been part of any movement online that I've been supporting. So there's nothing that I'm selling. The only thing I'm selling are my ideas, which I'm prepared to defend empirically sure.
Which you want
No,
them to
Bosolani,
gain
no,
into
no
their political
interjections, no
party.
interjections
Aiwa,
now.
but
No,
hulu
no
munhu ari
interjections.
kusela
Yeah.
ideas because ari kuda
No,
kupinda
no,
mumagroup
no, 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 no,
ema-political
no.
party, whether it's ZANU-PF,
No,
whether it's
Charlene
Why
never
are
Chamisa.
we
say that.
always there?
He's keeping
Yeah,
the door
Charlene is fine,
open because
John.
haasi kuziva
He
kuti
never say
ndeupi
that.
And
achamubhadhara
that's
mari.
fine. That's fine. I'm a Zimbabwean. I'm allowed to join a political party that I want. If tomorrow I want to join ZANU PF, I will, and I will announce that, ladies and gentlemen, I've so joined ZANU PF. If I want to join Chamisa, I will announce. Don't
Yeah, it's fine,
announce for
Charlene.
me. Allow
It's
me to
fine, don't
come
worry.
and make that announcement. For now, I've
Yeah,
not.
it's
So
yeah,
ZANU
it's
PF
fine, don't
people and
worry.
CC people are all, you're all my friends. We talk, we speak,
Yeah.
we argue. That's where I stand for now.
All right. All right. Thank you.
If that threatens other people, I think it's none of my business.
At least now we
Yeah.
know
All
kuti
right,
you're not
Bosolani.
anti-ZANU.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Thank you very much, Shalane. Thank you for all the people that have made some contributions. I think the issue of Geza will continue to hog the limelight, and we will continue to check what the developments and assess and analyze and argue and debate and all those kind of things. I can only wish that you be blessed, you and your family, and in your workplaces as well. And again, it was about our people, it was about our nation, and we have had a fruitful discussion. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you. Good and bye bye.